The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com
We were on a break!
with Ambar Garcia, Brian Broaddus, Vach Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
Welcome back to another episode of The Break presented by LG. Today, you guys have me as a substitute teacher, and then we got Vach over there drinking some water because he's getting ready to talk. And then we have Brian Broaddus here, and they are going to get you ready for this game against the Eagles for Sunday. We're going to talk today about their offense, what they're looking like currently, and then how that matchup looks versus the current Cowboys defense. Before we get started on that, wanted to talk about some news and some things that happened. Brian.
Yes, ma'am.
Our guy, Damone Clark.
Yeah.
Former 5th round pick for the Cowboys, a guy from LSU
Yes.
that we had so much hope. I remember we've always been hoping for the moment that he was going to really start showing up. And he's had I don't know how many years now with the Cowboys here.
Four years. Yeah.
And now the Cowboys decided to move on from him. And with that change, it opened up a spot that was quickly filled by your guy, Vach, Perion Winfrey, which we'll get into. But first, wanted to start specifically with Damone Clark and kind of the way that this decision ended up happening and how we got to this point.
Any comments on that quickly?
Yeah. First of all, man, shouts out to him, man. He's worked hard since the day that he was here, man. This is the business that we're in. We're in a results-based business. Yeah. And if anything, I think this says the most about the Joneses and kind of how they've been operating lately. They've been a lot more aggressive than what they normally have been as far as getting guys to come in and help. You know, they were very aggressive in the offseason and then in season. It's something that we never see from the Jones. Like they're sending picks to go get guys and bring guys back in. So what just ended up happening is you just got too many dudes that you like that can just play for you. And Brian, we always ask, who's the last guy? Who's that 53rd guy that's on the roster there, Brian? And Damone Clark, a lot changed at the linebacker spot. You know what I mean? Like you are in this constant looking and searching for a linebacker, but he didn't beat the guy that just kind of got his job taken. So he was behind that guy. Then you bring in Logan Wilson. Then Overshown comes back. You get pushed down twice. On top of the idea that, you're maybe a little heavy at D-line. You're maybe a little heavy at corner now. Safety's coming back healthy. We just ran out of room. We just ran out of space. But shouts out to Damone Clark, man.
No, excellent points all the way around. And this is what you're in a situation, too, right now, where you look at the linebacker room. It has changed dramatically. Yeah. But also, too, there was things with Damone Clark that, give him some credit. They found the back problem at the combine. He came in, they did the surgery, he worked his way back, he got on the field. There's been some times where he's looked very good. And there's other times where he looks lost or he looks out of place. And, that you get all these changes. You get different staffs coming in, the Dan Quinn staff, the Mike Zimmer staff. And now what you have with Matt Eberflus, you kind of get lost in the shuffle there. And I think there were some times at training camp that he looked like he was playing with instincts. He was playing downhill early in the season. You go back. I mean, I went back and watched the Philadelphia game, opening game of the season, and here he is on the field playing. But that's where we are now. It's completely different from where we are today to where we used to be. But you got to be able to play with instincts. You got to be able to play with awareness, and you got to find ways to get yourself on the field. You can't just be, like I say, a special teams guy. Yeah, there's some of those in the league, but they need you to play linebacker. And in fact, it just wasn't working out very, very well for him in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, you guys said it all already in that regards with him, but sad to see him go. We'll see where he ends up landing. I haven't seen any reports on that just yet. But wanted to move on now with Winfrey, and I know he's a guy you have talked about a whole lot and then quickly kind of disappeared. We haven't been talking about him as much. With his comeback now, what is his expectation? What are you expecting from him? Is he someone that's looking to play at some point, or what is happening with him?
Well, the D tackle room has gone through a lot of change since his back has been hurt. So you can kind of look at him and say the same thing about him. But I think the difference with Perion Winfrey is that there was a time in camp, me and Broadus and Ambar, we were just sitting up there watching camp, and Perion was like he was one of your best guys there.
He was.
You know what I'm saying? So we looking at Osa like, hey man, what you doing? Because Perion going crazy, and Solomon and Perion was your best pair at some point. So how I kind of look at it now is he's back, and I think the Cowboys are in a situation where they have versatile defensive tackles, and I think what they're going to try to do, we watched a little bit of film this morning, Brian, I think they're going to try to move those guys out a little bit, bump them to more 3, more 4-5 techs, which is right outside the guard, right outside the tackle, head up on the tackle. I think you're going to see those guys move around a little bit because I think that your defensive tackle room is a lot more powerful than your edge room right now. So I think that's where you're going to make up sitting some guys, playing some guys a little bit less in your edge room. I think you're going to play more guys from your tackle spot. Now, how does Perion fit? Perion is not a Jay Toia type tackle. Toia is a bigger, heavier type guy. Perion wants to go upfield, and he's pretty good versus the run, but he's going to give you some pass rush stuff. I think he's kind of similar to what Solomon Thomas was. Yeah. So everything that you kind of was getting from Solomon Thomas, you're likely going to get that from Perion Winfrey.
Yeah, here it is. I mean, Vach, once again, spelled it out for you right there. This is about Solomon Thomas. He's got a calf injury.
Yeah.
Have you heard how long?
Yeah, that's. Like? I think this is one of those things. Now you're going to get an idea. I think they went out and activated Winfrey here because because of that. I mean, yeah, I cover a lot of sports, and not only this the Cowboys, but what's going on in the National Basketball Association with calf injuries and stuff. For these athletes, it is a very difficult injury to come back from. It's not just, we had a calf injury and then we're back next week. These things tend to linger, and you got to make sure they're absolutely right. I think this move was more in line with they don't feel like that maybe Solomon Thomas will be back quick enough. And like Vach just pointed out to you, Winfrey could come in and replace that Solomon Thomas. They now have that ability to, and he could back up. He could back up Oso Digizua. He could back up a couple of different positions. Sure. He gives you a guy. We saw him in training camp. Here's a guy that'll play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. He is an explosive player, and it seems to be that's what kind of Dallas is kind of gearing their defense to be able to do. Get across the line of scrimmage, be able to attack, be able to use the twist stunts, be able to pair yourself with Quinnen Williams, pair yourself with Kenny Clark, and then be effective in that role. But I think this one really, really is more about Solomon Thomas, and I bet you we're going to hear something about his calf here eventually coming up.
So, Brian, they haven't put him on IR or anything yet. If they do, that's 4 games.
Right.
If they don't, we would assume that it's like 2 to 3.
Right.
So I would assume, since they haven't done that yet or whatever, I guess they're looking at right after this close game stretch, after this Thanksgiving kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They got 3 games in what 11 days. 11 days. Yeah. So yeah, I think that they just couldn't.
Detroit, maybe.
They couldn't afford to have. Be a little bit light at that position. So I think this is going to be a reevaluation once they get through that Detroit stretch.
Sure.
Well, I remember it was after that Arizona game, and we were talking about it. Mm-hmm. We were talking, and you guys mentioned, I'm like, well, he had an injury, and everyone was like, but no one really.
Sure. It happened in the Arizona game.
And it happened because I remember it got mentioned. He came out of the game, came out of the field, but it wasn't like something major that you expected for it to linger up to this point. So again, it just goes to show that, we'll see what happens now and how they manage this moves, but this just illustrates that it's probably going to take a lot longer. I wasn't expected to see Winfrey at this point because it kind of became someone that you forgot about.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. But we'll see, because again, going back to how he looked, and I'm always careful to refer back to training camp because we always see that.
That's all we got, though.
On him, we do. Yeah.
But hopefully, and I feel also with the other guys that you have in there with the addition with Williams, I feel like most of anybody that you put in
so good.
can potentially, shine as well. It just creates a lot more opportunities for this guy. And with him, he's just so strong too. He's
Quinnen?
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
Winfrey.
Oh, Winfrey?
Yeah.
Perion's fantastic. Great energy and all that. And, like Brian said, like he plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So he's punching the hell out of people when he's out there and he's running the field and bursty. And, we can't go back to camp. We can't go back to preseason football and all that. But this was a guy. And look, let's just be clear here, right? Quinnen Williams is in town.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at some point when somebody comes off the field, somebody got to go back on there.
Right.
So I do see this role where Perion can get in there. And look, they had these different sets of tackles in there. So sometimes it was Kenny and Quinnen and Toia would be in the middle, right? I can see a world to where you kind of bump Perion to, maybe like an edge type dude and just, let him be bursty on the outside.
I need to check this, and this is terrible on my part, but there's coming to a limit too of the activations for guys to bring back. I think
Two more.
I think they got 2 left, and then you've got a lot. You've really have a lot of football left too, so they have to be very mindful. So this is one of those situations to bring back Winfrey. There had to be something kind of going on here. Yeah. And so they said, let's get ahead of it. You got the 3 games in 11 days. Maybe they're going to evaluate, but just having the 2 more activations, that's going to be interesting going forward as well.
So Brian, so when Diggs come back, will he be one of those activations?
Yeah, I think so, because he would be on that list right now.
I see people mentioning him on the chat. And
Well, I made a mistake on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, where people were asking me, like, I thought he was coming back this week, and then I checked, and no, it's actually he'll miss this game, and then he'll be available for the Kansas City game.
Man, so we're not going to see Peyton Turner this year is what it looked like.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Because they're probably going to hold that last spot in case of emergency or something like that. Okay.
But having 2 spots left, man, that's kind of a rough situation for him right now with all these games still
So
left.
damn. Okay, so Josh Butler, like
there are some dudes that are standing at the bus stop just kind of waiting to be picked up right now.
All right.
And we can't get Mingo active either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another one of those kinds of things where are the coaches. I mean, Mingo, he's been a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Every week for you now. And so now you look at that and
now also with the rise of Flournoy,
but that's what I'm saying.
Tough.
I mean, the coaches or the front office, quarterback, there's clearly a love for Tolbert here too.
Yeah.
The fact that they're playing Tolbert over Mingo right now with also the way, because Flournoy, and let's be honest, we can have this conversation too if you want to. Mm-hmm. And maybe for another day, maybe right now. I don't think Turpin's playing as well as you were thinking that he was going to play.
For sure.
Honestly, I don't think he's 100% after the injury.
Well, if that is the case, then that surely, if he's struggling with the injury, and I guess we're also struggling at left guard too with the tendonitis in the knee. A lot of guys trying to kind of fight through some injuries, but for what the expectations were coming again out of training camp and what we thought about Turpin, he was kind of your 3rd wide receiver. Yeah. And now it looks like Flournoy's taken over that role, and you haven't seen that explosiveness out of Turpin in a while.
So Brian, as ex-personnel front office guy, all this kind of stuff, right? Who's your new 53rd guy? Especially watch this though. With the idea that you got 2 cornerbacks that can come back. So is your new 53rd guy a corner that's on the team right now? Or are we looking at some other spot, some other unit that may be like, all right, Tober's the 53rd guy now?
Well, I kind of think like, look who was, just take the list of the inactives on Monday night.
Yeah.
You had Bridges on that list too, the corner.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, that might be one of those things that you want to go looking at forward. Maybe, Bridges on the defense. They've kind of in a situation too. I mean, you're looking really, I don't know on the offense who would be that guy because they moved on Cornelius. We're probably not going to see Cornelius for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he's done.
So he's done, but I don't know. I don't know anybody on the offensive side of the ball that you would take off. I don't think they want to do anything with Jaden Blue. I don't think they want to move on from Jaden Blue. But if you look at overall, Tolbert,
Elam, Bridges type.
Clark, Elijah Clark.
Elijah Clark, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
at the safety spot. But I would think the guy that maybe would be the one odd man out right now would be Bridges.
So damn, I'm sorry because we got a break. So is Wanye on IR or is he just regular out?
He's on IR right now.
Damn.
So you might not see him back.
What's going on?
Yeah. Well, like I say, they've only got two. They've got two
more activations.
two more moves left.
Let's go ahead and go to our first break. When we come back, we're going to dive into the Eagles offense versus the Cowboys defense.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here, the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys. This holiday season, I've got Yeti's new insulated bowls and food storage working overtime. The insulated bowls are amazing. It'll keep queso warm or guacamole fresh. And the food storage containers protect my ingredients and help me stay organized. They also make great gifts for the host, making Yeti bowls and food storage MVPs for the holidays. Get yours at yeti.com or a Yeti store near you.
I'm home.
Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Cowboys fans, here's the game plan. Touchdown Tuesday at Take 5 Oil Change. Just wear your Cowboys gear and save 25% on your oil change. No huddle, no overtime. Just drive in, stay in your car, and roll out. You'll be tailgate ready in 10 minutes flat. Keeping up with your car shouldn't be a tough call. Take 5 makes it as easy as calling the coin toss. Take 5 is the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit take5.com to find a location near you. Offer valid through December 31st, 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Valid only at participating locations.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to the break.
All right, here we go. Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com. Derek has promised Ambar he's going to get some television, so
we're waiting for
we'll
that.
see. We'll see.
Thank you, Brian.
Maybe Santa will bring some.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
Dollar Tree.
Welcome back to the second segment of the break. This segment is presented by blockchain.com. There we go.
Amazing
okay.
what we do without Derek here. We gotta get everything on
like we on track. We good.
We're on track. We stay on track. I'm telling you, this is your favorite substitute teacher.
Ambar is like Overshown just running free. Like we're Quentin and Kenny Clark or whatever. She's just running
We're
around.
just taking up blocks.
Just taking up blocks.
I got you.
Running free.
I like that. I like that comparison. Okay, let's talk about this Eagles offense. That they, regardless, but they're still winning games. They're still winning games.
Yeah.
But we're gonna break it down.
Yeah.
And there's still a team that I feel that the Cowboys are very much capable of putting up a good fight and coming out with a win potentially. We'll see later on Friday. We'll give our game day predictions. But for now, break it down for me, please.
I think they're gonna beat the hell out the Eagles.
Well, I know you.
That's just me talking, man. But I think they're gonna beat the hell out. Brian, man, look, man. Brian Brothers, what's going on? Look, man. I've been noticing the past couple weeks, man, you know, with the Eagles, they scoring points in the teens and all this kind of stuff. And to Ambar's credit, they are winning games.
Right.
That's defense. We'll talk about that tomorrow, Brian. Why you think they ain't been able to put points up on the board, man? What's going on with our Eagles here?
Yeah, you know what? They don't drop back very much. They're not a big throw the football team. They kind of lean on the run a little bit, but their running game has not been all that great. They've struggled with some of their offensive lines, some of the issues with their health across the line. If you go back and you watch the games, whether I went back and looked at Saquon Barkley. I looked at all 175 carries. I was curious because I was wondering, why are the Eagles not the same team? They're trying to be the same team that ran the football last year, but they really, really haven't. And they got a quarterback that struggled with some accuracy at times. He hasn't thrown a ton of interceptions. He's only thrown one. It was funny. I pulled it up. I said, hey, I want to watch all of Jalen Hurts' interceptions. And one play pulled up against the Giants. And I'm like, I want to see all the interceptions. Yeah. It was one play. So that's the only one that he's had this year. There's been some they've had some problems with some drops. I mean, if you watch the Lions game last week, some of the guys, whether it was Goddard had a drop, Smith had a drop, they've had some opportunities to make some plays. The quarterback hasn't always been accurate throwing the ball as well. But I think it's the running game that's been the biggest issue for them, Voch.
Brian, you would imagine that Jalen Hurts doesn't throw a bunch of picks because he like to hold the ball and get sacked.
Sure,
you would say?
Sure, yeah.
I think that's going to be a big advantage for the Cowboys there. But just kind of, just me watching outside looking in, A.J. Brown ain't wrong. You know what I'm saying?
No, he is not wrong.
A.J. Brown ain't wrong. Now, to Jalen Hurts' credit,
they just don't want him to be honest about it.
They don't want him to be.
My buddy Jeff Lurie does not want him to be honest about the offensive struggles.
The honest part is A.J. Brown, first of all, he only runs a handful of routes. That's just
true.
Real. He runs his slants. He'll do some crossing, or they'll just create a route for him to just get the ball and just go be yak guy. But I've been seeing him kind of loaf a little bit, Brian, brother. I just see him not, fully committal to the running downfield for the love of the game, knowing that he's not going to get the ball. And I don't think that's because Hurts isn't finding them. I think I just think, oh man, people gonna get on to me because it sounds like I'm hating. They winning games, I get it.
They are winning games.
They winning games, I get it, man. But I think the minute you do some weird stuff in coverage, I think that dude, he just drops his eyes.
Yeah.
He improvs really well though. You know what I'm saying? So Cowboys, versus that, they have to keep their eyes on him, scrambling around, buying time. I can't stand when they'll blitz and bring pressure.
Right.
And he drops his eyes and he'll run around the circle, get sacked, or just throw the ball away, whatever. But then the very next play, they'll rush 3.
Yeah.
I can't stand to see a team versus the Eagles only rushing 3, only rushing 4, because the Eagles can block it up a little bit, just for whoever that they got out there. They can block it up a little bit. But when you give Jalen Hurts 5 or 6 seconds to throw the football, he's fine doing that. And that's where the big chunk plays come from, Brian.
Yeah.
But every time there's some sort of pressure, he drops his eyes and he Flus, hey, man, you want me to give you some more credit? Do this. That little 5-man thing that you did last week, that old blitzing Donovan Wilson, you know what I mean? Blitzing James and Overshown, bringing those guys, okay? Do that again. Do that again, Brother Flus, because the minute that you do that you bring an extra guy, a 5th guy, Flus, that means you get Quentin Williams one-on-one with some, Jurgens ain't doing all that great right now. Kenny Clark is going to be over there against Tyler Steen. He's going to get the one-on-one against him. And it's more than likely going to be Clowney versus Fred Johnson. Chat, how many of y'all know who the hell Fred Johnson is? You don't know him. Flus, please, sir, bring a little bit of pressure to kind of get Hurts off his, you know what I mean? Get him off his stance a little bit. And I think that's how you defeat him in the run game. In the passing game. Week 1, that's actually what you did. But you didn't have a guy to account for like scrambling Hurts. You got a guy in Quentin Williams now, Brian, to where he's like an extra dude to like deal with the run for you. So you can have one less guy thinking about the run. I fully anticipate Flus having a guy to just spy Hurts to just contain him.
We always talk about Hurts and his ability to run. How mobile has he been since the last time? Obviously, we faced him week 1, but how mobile has he continued?
No, that's something that you're going to have to deal with, though. I don't think he wants to run. I think there's times he runs out of necessity.
He don't want to run. He can't see.
Yeah, he gotta run. He's got it, but that's what I'm saying. He fancies himself as a guy that can sit in the pocket and throw. But the second most blitzes, the league agrees with you, Voch.
Yeah.
The league blitzes him. He's the second most blitz quarterback in the league. The first is our guy there with the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Those guys, you're right about eye level. You're right about the problems with their offensive line. The Fred Johnson playing at right tackle has been a problem. Landon Dickerson, the guard who had the back injury the first week of the season, and they were in and out with him in the lineup. He struggles when he has to single block.
Yeah.
When you watch him one-on-one block, and now how do you create opportunities where Fred Johnson is blocking one-on-one? How do you create situations where Landon Dickinson is blocking one-on-one? That's going to be the challenge this week. Yeah. You got a guy that could spy. You got a guy that can now chase down with Overshown. You put Overshown in the game. Overshown can run down a Jalen Hurts. Overshown against the Eagles played really well.
11 tackles
last year.
A sack.
It was like 2.5 sacks.
2.5 sacks.
He was crazy. I mean, he was going after them, and they had a hard time with him in that football game. But this is going to be a team that really, Vach is right again, the slants, the hitches. Nobody throws more go routes. I take that back. The Giants throw go routes. Okay, here you go. They're going to launch the ball. They're going to try and throw it down the field. They're going to try and beat you one-on-one. They're going to try and make a big play, whether they make the reception or draw the interference penalty. That's what they're going to try and do. Yeah. But I think you're better equipped now to handle, and I agree with you about the blitzing aspect of the thing. Get his eye level down, make him have to kind of move around in the pocket, because the longer he holds the ball, the more problems he has. It hasn't resulted in turnovers, but what it's resulted in is some throwaways. You can clearly see that when you watch the games.
I see some people in the chat, having these arguments with us being critical of Hurts and the offense over there. And again, yes, at the end of the day, what matters is winning games.
Oh, he's a
and
Super
they're
Bowl
finding ways to win games. But when you break it down and you start looking at it in section, you see that you can actually beat them. Like you have the opportunity and the ability, hopefully, to beat them and put up a good fight.
They have outstanding skill players. We know that.
Yeah.
We don't need to watch the tape. The people in the chat are probably Eagles fans that are just checking out what we're going to talk about today. But yeah, you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and that's true. But where you have to be honest with yourself, though, of the struggles that you look at. The offensive line has not been always completely healthy. Jordan Mailata at tackle has struggled with some pressures over there. I mean, he and I mentioned Landon Dickerson and those guys. They've had some problems with their health at center. You have to admit the Eagles have not run the ball like they did last year.
Why not? Why not?
Well, a lot of it too is teams are doing it, and you watch the defenses. And again, I watched all the carries, but watch the teams that they've played against. Guys, when they played the Rams got after them. Tampa got after them. Denver got after them. I mean, there's some teams that play some really good run defense, and what they do is they play on your side of the line of scrimmage. And what's happened is you've had to go with some backup offensive linemen, and that has been a problem. When they've had to use some backup offensive linemen, that has been a problem. Saquon Barkley, he's going to try and press the hole, and then he's going to try and make the cutback. Teams have not allowed him to make that cutback run. That's what he loves to do. He loves to press the hole, then make the cutback and try and do those things. But teams, like I said, have done a better job of winning one-on-one against him or against the line, and then forcing him to have to make a cut, or he gets tackled at the line of scrimmage or for a 2-3 yard gain.
If there's anybody in the chat right now that think we just up here just hating,
no,
and just saying,
I respect
and just saying something just to be, y'all either not real people or y'all just trying to be different. I'm gonna lean on the side that y'all probably not real people, that y'all probably just like bots or something like that. You can't watch Jalen Hurts and be like, oh, Jalen Hurts tore it up versus Green Bay and Detroit. Now, let's be honest and fair. The Cowboys' pass defense got a lot to prove.
They have a lot to prove.
Got a bunch of new DBs out there. Russell Wilson threw the ball on us. So is there a chance that Jalen Hurts can go out there and throw the football against us?
Yeah.
100%. But based on the film that we've watched, and you can even go back to Cowboys versus Eagles if you would like, Jalen Hurts drops his eyes when there's pressure and he gets himself sacked. I would love for y'all to just tell me I'm lying. Tell me what film you watched to where you saw him dialing it up and looking around and the pressure's not affecting him and he's making all the right throws off of the pressure. Why are teams blitzing him second most in the league if he's so good against pressure? We ain't making this stuff up. Goofy.
Let's take a break. When we come back,
I love y'all.
It's all love. When we come back, we are going to answer some questions. Send some questions in the chat and we'll get them here in the conversation. But also want to do a deeper dive into the running back. We know that that's an area, the run defense, the Cowboys run defense, they've struggled in the past. But now with these changes, what does that matchup look like when you're talking about the run game and the Cowboys defense after the break?
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm home.
Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
Back to the break.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
That's right. And we are running out of time very quickly, so let's get right to it. When we talk about the running game specifically, how's their running back looking like and how productive can they be on the ground?
Saquon's a special player. Hadn't worked out for him all that much this year. I mean, he's cool still. I wonder, and it's just, me talking, Brian, you can chime in.
Sure.
I wonder if it's more of the Eagles' running operation isn't as good as it was last year, or like he got wore down by so many carries last year. Because that happens to running backs all the time. They'll have a fantastic year with a whole bunch of carries, and then next year they'll pop out like not the same. Saquon isn't doing, because like last year it'll be a time to where the Eagles will struggle. I'm not hating, but the Eagles will struggle, and they'll keep the game close, and like at the end of the game, Saquon will break out like an 80-yard run.
There you go.
And score. I haven't seen as many of those this year. You know what I mean? So that could be because O-line injuries. Dickerson was hurt earlier in the season. He's back now. Steen is there and not Becton, things like that. And now Fred Johnson is at the right tackle. So I think the big thing is that we can look at now is that the Cowboys have gotten much better in the trenches over time with just, different trades and acquisitions and all that. And I think the Eagles have gotten less because they've been hurt on the offensive line and their run game just isn't kind of what it is. So just Cowboys versus Eagles wise, and you're going to see some Shipley and Bigsby. You're going to see some of those guys too. But if they're going to run the football, it's going to be Saquon or like Hurts for real. Yeah. And I think I'm ready for Quentin Williams to go out there and prove that he could do it against a good team.
Yeah, no, that is very good analysis of that, because if you look at it, he's averaging like 3.8 yards per carry. Yeah. You know, and the explosive runs are down. Vach told you that, those long runs. And you saw, like, I think in the Giants game, I saw a long run, where he got the ball to the edge and then he was around the corner, and the Giants just didn't do a very good job of kind of taking care of that. But yeah, they haven't had the explosive runs. They haven't been really healthy. They don't block particularly well with their tight ends. Their tight ends do not block particularly well. You know, the Cowboys for years is, you look back and you're like, geez, the point of attack blocks have just not been there. And all of a sudden you show up with Span Ford, and now you have a little bit better guy blocking for you out there, so the running game can kind of thrive. But they really haven't. Like I mentioned, they've had struggles with the health of their offensive line. There's been guys in and out of the lineup, and I think it's affected Barkley. And I believe Vach is right that the number of carries that he had last year, it will take a toll on the body, because he is averaging less than 4 yards a carry. He's played against some teams, though, that are pretty good run defensive teams. If you go back and you watch all the carries, it's, you're kind of like going, okay, they're not giving him any space, and it's from game to game to game. And again, this offensive line has had their struggles, and we'll see. Dallas is better equipped now with some new linebacker play. If you look at the other day in some of the running game stuff, even safeties coming down and helping and filling gaps and making tackles and stuff like that. So the fits have been better. The personnel has been better for Dallas. It's going to be a challenge for them to handle Barkley in this game. But right now, with them, the right tackle being out, Lane Johnson being out, and then also too, like I say, these tight ends just not getting it done, and it's been a bit of a problem for them.
Well, Alan, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, he was asking about how the Eagles can handle interior pressure, and going back to Quentin Williams and some of the things that he's currently doing with the Cowboys, is that something, despite the struggles that they've currently been having on their offensive line, is that something that they're even capable of putting up?
Yeah, and it really does come because I mentioned earlier the number of pressures that Landon Dickerson, the left guard, gives up is when he gets put on an island. Yeah. You when you look at the Eagles, the majority of the snaps, they want to help him. And it's funny because Tyler Steegen on the other side, he has his share of problems too. Yeah. But when you look at just one-on-one pressures, one-on-one sacks, it's Landon Dickerson, and it might be his back, but they want to create double-team situations for him. So now, the one thing that Dallas can do that they didn't do the first time these two teams met was they now have, yes, Kenny Clark did play, but it was Solomon Thomas and it was Osa and people like that. But they can now put a guy like Kenny Clark once again over Steen. They could put, they could kind of cover everybody up with a 5-man line and make this a little bit of a different game where the Eagles can't double team. They could force the Eagles to have to single block, and that's the issue for the Eagles. If they single block, they tend to be in more trouble. So if you could kind of keep them out of that, and I don't know, he asked the question of how could the Eagles combat that. It's really up to the Cowboys. If the Cowboys can dictate who can help on a double team by just alignment, and if they want to take advantage of that, I hope they do.
Also, too, a big difference is that Vegas, they want to get rid of the ball quickly as an offense.
Yeah.
The Eagles don't quite get rid of the ball all that fast, so I think that'll definitely work out for the Cowboys.
I think we've answered most of the questions just on our conversation overall.
Got you. Brian, let me ask you a question. We got to kill 3 more minutes for Amber. So you think this whole Eagles run game thing is kind of lesser than what it was because teams fear the Eagles passing more?
You mean last year they feared him passing or feared him this year?
I'm talking about last year. They probably feared him both equally. Yeah. This year they're not throwing the ball as much.
Right.
So if it's me and I had to commit resources,
the dropbacks here, way down.
I'm not gonna put as many resources in pass defense now because you're not gonna Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'm putting more into run stopping because Saquon is more of an issue.
I honestly think they've played some better run defenses too. I mean, and when you break down those carries, and it's game after game after game, and you're watching the kind of the same struggles.
Green Bay and Detroit.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like though too, looking at this team. Offensively, those injuries have been a problem. Lane Johnson was in and out of the lineup. They like to use extra blockers. There's times where we've seen Fred Johnson be the extra blocker. We look at who else we got there at the Matt Pryor was another guy, number 79. He's now kind of taken over the extra blocker role. So they've tried to do some things with putting some guys because they've had some trouble with their tight ends. They're trying to get offensive linemen on the field to block because they realize that it's been a struggle for them. But to your point, I think it's a lot to do with the health of this line, because there's times where last year they were clearly one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Sure.
But now I think they've been compromised with their health.
I got one matchup I want to ask the panel about here. I'm gonna start with Ambar here. Ambar, what you think about our guy Savon Ravel being tight end guy and chasing around Dallas Goedert? Because if there's one guy Hurts will find, he'll go find Goddard.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. What you think about Ravel being tight end, hybrid corner, nickel slot guy?
Before I answer, isn't it Siobhan?
I've heard it both.
Not Saban.
I've heard Savon Ravel and Siobhan Revel. I've heard both.
Okay.
The rookie corner, the rookie third round corner.
East Carolina.
Revel.
From East Carolina. Revel. What y'all think about Revel being the Dallas Goedert tight end chase around guy?
I think honestly, I'm so excited to see how he performs in this game, how much they continue to utilize him, because we've talked about his physique, like body wise. He is like has the prototype of what you're looking for in a corner. And I think right now, despite of him coming off that injury, he's feeling refreshed.
He's moving good too.
He's feeling refreshed and brand new and going out there just like when everybody else has been playing all these weeks and getting tired. He's been watching from the sideline, learning and studying. I think he is more than prepared book-wise to come and be there and take care of that. And I think he can match up with almost anybody.
Yeah, because of the size.
Because of the size. And despite of the experience, there's something about him that I feel like his head, even though he was retained back physically because of the injury, but I still feel that he's ahead of a lot of other rookies and even veteran guys that are on the team. So I'm excited for him, and I think it's going to be, if they really utilize him and decide to commit to him, he'll be a good match.
Yeah, I think you're onto something here.
Fantastic point.
Yeah, you did make some really good points. I think you're onto something here because, you're going to get the next couple of weeks. Now, the Detroit game we'll see because Sam Laporta's on injured reserve. So, but you've got a couple of weeks coming up here, a couple of games where you've got Dallas Goedert, as we mentioned. We've seen in the past where Jordan Lewis went running with him, and did stuff. And Jordan being a feisty, shorter player and stuff like that. And then you got Travis Kelce coming up too. So it might be an opportunity from what we saw in the Raiders game where he got a couple of opportunities to play against those good quality Raider tight ends. Maybe you're onto something here, Voch, that all of a sudden we see him in certain situations against Dallas Goedert come on the field on third down situations and play that way. And then on the short week, can he do something against Travis Kelce? But if like I say, and then you could have gone, well, what about Detroit? Well, Sam Laporta, like I said, is on the injured reserve. So this is something that clearly that Dallas could play with going forward because Ambar mentioned, because of the length, because of the size, because of the ability to travel, the ability to close on routes, and how competitive he plays.
Do y'all remember going back to his college career?
Oh, yeah.
Did he get interceptions quite often, or how was he in that area?
The year before, he had like 4 or 5.
Yeah, he's a guy that gets his hands on the ball. He's like a knock it down kind of guy. Yeah. But the one thing that you watch him play, and Vach and I this morning broke down some film on him and some routes. And I'm one of these guys that loves to see the guy carry an inside route. Yeah. Well, Vach broke it down for you today. Later, our show it'll be up on our show. But yeah, he's got that ability. I mean, the burst, the length, the awareness. I mean, you could see in the game that one time they clouded the coverage where he went, the safety went down, he went back, picked up a route, they exchanged. Yep. For a guy playing right off the jump, that kind of awareness, again, there's some challenges ahead, but at least the first game out of the blocks, you're kind of encouraged by what you saw from the player overall.
He's a rookie, but if he knows the system, then he's better than somebody that's not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we did end a little late.
A little late.
I was a little late.
I'm already to go to lunch, man.
No, I have another show to do now. But thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Vach, Brian. Thank you everyone for in the chat. I know y'all get crazy in there, but it's always a good time to read some of those comments and try to bring it onto us, a part of the conversation here on the show. We'll be back tomorrow breaking down the Eagles defense. I know you guys are very excited to see how the Cowboys can match up with their defense, who is the area, the side of the ball that's winning the games for them. So we'll see how that matchup looks like against the Cowboys offense. For Vach Lombardi, Brian Broaddus, I'm Amber Garcia. This has been The Break on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?